our state, and they've fought this expansion from the beginning.
Well, and they're vowing not to give up. But Canada's government saying the pipeline project is a go, and they're going to have shovels in the ground this construction season. Now, Trans Mountain Pipeline Expansion Project will triple the pipeline capacity, moving crude oil from Alberta, which backs the project, through British Columbia to the water, and British Columbia opposes it. Now, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's government actually bought the pipeline last year, and they've been behind it every step of the way. But it hit a snag when a federal court ruled that the government did not properly take into account the impact that this project and the increased tanker traffic would have on the endangered orcas that call the Salish Sea home. And they also didn't properly consult with First Nations. Now, I traveled to Victoria, BC last year as the National Energy Board did a redo on that environmental assessment. Washington State tribes you're seeing here, they were there to back First Nations and testify to their concerns over what this pipeline would mean for the endangered orcas, for salmon, and for the tribe's way of life. Now, the concern is that the tripling up to 7 times tanker traffic will not only harm the orca's ability to hunt, but actually an oil spill could just wipe out entire pods. We've seen how damaging those could be. Tribes are also concerned about risks to fishermen and the overall environmental impacts, doubling down on fossil fuels when tribes say we need to be looking toward a more sustainable future for everyone.
Every one of these projects has a cumulative impact on our Salish Sea ecosystem, and we continue to have to work really hard to protect it. And sometimes I just feel like it's on life support, and we keep adding more stresses to an already bad situation, and this is one of them.
So Canada's National Energy Board found the project would put the orcas at more risk, but they decided to recommend approval anyway, saying it's in the public's best interest. And that is exactly what Trudeau is saying at this time.
Obviously, this is a Canadian issue, but what role does Washington State play in this?
So tribes are arguing that not only do they not recognize a border, obviously the orca and the salmon don't either, which makes this not a Canadian issue, but really a Salish Sea issue. Also, Washington's Governor Jay Inslee saying Canada's decision to expand the project is both alarming and deeply disappointing. The costs to our environment and communities are simply too high. Now, I asked the tribes, what's next? Is this the end of the fight? They tell me it's not. They're looking at all legal options at this point to support First Nations in the fight against the pipeline. Some of those tribes going a step further, calling for a complete halt on any industrial projects in the Salish Sea while they look at what the cumulative impact of all of these projects is on the orca.
All right, Simone, thank you.
Well, if you want